We're doing another tank review. I thought this was going to be the only tank review we were doing, but unfortunately my house isn't really unstable. Well, it's unstable. It's just what? So we're gonna continue the Tiger one. The Tiger one was, as I said in the last video, a mass-produced tank. It was rather feared until the Battle of Kursk. Until the Battle of Kursk was over, this thing was completely rendered useless, and that's when Germany found out that they needed sloped armor, and of course they produced a Tiger, which had sloped armor, which would have been the freaking Tiger II. Now the Tiger II has as it looks, an 88, as well as the other model, which is yes, that is not no 88 I've seen. Is that an 88? Oh, we'll have to check. Yes, that is an 88. This is, yep, that's an 88 too. And yeah. So both of these are 88s. This is the newer model. This is the earlier model. Yeah. The Tiger, it's a ratherly respectable tank. It's got some history to it. It's got, throughout the entire thing of World of Tanks Blitz and World of Tanks itself, the tank has had a couple of balances and unbalances. The Tiger now receives a new cupola on top of its starter turret, and also comes with a gun I'm very familiar with. That looks like the classic 88 a Tiger 131 would have been equipped with. If you don't know what the Tiger 131 is, go to the Bovington Tank Museum, and you'll probably end up seeing that thing rolling around in the yard. So yeah, the Tiger one is it's rather deadly. In the game, its armor is 82 millimeters on the front of the turret, 165 millimeters on the front, and pretty much 82 all around, except for the front of the hull. And at the rear, there's only 64. So that concludes the Tiger's armor. Sorry, y'all had to hear that. This tank is it's a rather feared machine. It's if we look closely at the tank, you can see there's an MG nest right there that would have holded, like, I don't know, like an MG42 or something else. And the Tiger, until the Battle of Kursk came, it was completely outclassed. By the newly modified and ready to fight T-34-85. As you can see, this thing already looks deadly right off the bat. T-34-85, it's basically on the chassis of a, like, I guess you'd say, like, Su-85 or Su-85, I don't know. So yeah, that's the ST-34, and the Tiger is not done yet. The Tiger, or the Germans call it, is a Tiger. Oh yeah. But until the Battle of Kursk came along, yeah, this thing was pretty much kaput, if you know what I mean. The Germans don't really say kaput a lot about their tanks, but with the Tiger and the Battle of Kursk, they don't really just mix well. They don't mix at all. Well, I'm pretty sure most of the T-34 tanks at the Battle of Kursk were destroyed, but the Tiger and Panzer IV numbers were way off the charts. I'm talking like in the thousands, maybe. And as I said in the song Panzerkampf from Sabaton, 1,000 of these tanks and Panzer IVs lined up in the distance as far as the eye can see, which really gives me a clue. Were there really 1,000 Tiger tanks at Battle of Kursk? Yeah, there were, because when I looked it up, there were like close to 1,000. So yeah, let's look at this thing's looks. Besides the gun and the treads. So far it looks like a ratherly beefy tank. As most people say the Tiger is, it's basically a big metal box as a whole. And I'm pretty sure most people imagine, yeah, that's pretty much what most future tanks are going to look like. But during World War II, there were pretty much unique tanks. There were like trapezoid-shaped tanks. There were square box-shaped tanks with a flat end nose there at the front. And weird suspension looks, like this contraption of suspension I don't even know about. So during the winter of the Battle of Kursk, I don't think it was winter, I'm not sure. Yeah, the suspension would jam up into the Tiger's wheels, causing the entire tank to come to a halt during its patrolling, which really just set off the mood for Hitler. Because when Hitler's birthday came around, that's when the Maus was produced, which it wasn't actually put through combat, but it was tested and it was proven effective. But it was never put on the battlefield. I'm not sure if this thing was even tested. I think this thing was bombed before it was even put to production. So, yeah, the Maus is a beefy looking tank. The Tiger tank is also a very beefy looking tank. And yeah, I think that's gonna have to wrap it up for the Tiger. It's a pretty plain looking Tiger tank, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah, there's some hatches there I didn't know about. Oh yeah, I didn't know about the hatches at all. Last time I checked, there weren't even hatches here. Were there? I'm not sure. I like the little commander's Kabula. It looks it almost looks like they have a little hat. Commander can just pop out of, peek his head out of, and take cover in the tank. Oh my god, that's so cute. So, some little history about the Tiger. There were some experimental prototypes, which are obvious. There was only one, which was the which would have been the Tiger 1 Porsche design, or as we know it as the Tiger P. The Tiger P, in World of Tanks splits, it is a well armored tank. Besides the Tiger, because the Tiger has horrible armor. I tested that theory, but it was effective. I gotten like 6 or 7 kills, and gotten a lot of victories with that tank. Man, I'm starting to miss that one. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap it up for the Tiger. There's not really much about the Tiger. Or is there? Yeah, there's more than just one Tiger. This is the one that did make it through combat, but somehow never saw action. Does that even make sense? I'm not sure. This is the one that was put on the battlefield but never saw action. It never met any tanks in close combat. It never even long-range shot tanks. It just didn't see anything. It was just roaming streets. Like it just owned the place. And yeah, it's just gonna have to wrap it up for all these Tiger tanks. Or is there? And then we have the Tiger 2's big brother, which was the E-100. The E-100 is, as you can see, it's a very bulky tank. It's actually the experimental... Wait, the Maus and the E-100 are both experimental prototypes. Oh wait, the Leopard 1's way better. The Leopard 1 is kind of like, I don't know, really beefed up Abrams. As you see, that gun looks like a Patton gun, for God's sakes. Yeah, it's terrifying, so that's gonna have to wrap it up for today's episode. Yeah, I don't really have any conclusions of how good the Tiger P is. I have tried the Tiger, so yeah. Yeah, that's gonna have to wrap it up.